Good evening, future Wolverines. My name is Kara Hayden, and I am the proud principal of Wellington High School. I want to welcome all of our families and students who are joining us tonight. We are thankful that you are taking the time to hear from our amazing choice program teams. Before we jump into those details, I want to share just a few facts about our campus. Next slide. One more. Our school hours are 7:30 to 2:50. Okay, we have a full offering of athletics and activities. Our AP and ACE program really cannot be battled with any other schools. We are above and beyond. Our student conduct is the Wellington way, and you'll learn more about that if you begin to join us at Wellington High School. And our dress code is, let's say, tasteful and contemporary. Okay, those are the basic facts for the evening, and I hope you enjoy all of tonight's presentations. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce you to our Academy Coordinator, Mr. Eric Wilkinson.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you. We appreciate you, like Ms. Hayden said, taking the time to join us, whether it's live or whether you're watching this at a later date. We've got a few housekeeping things before you hear from our amazing teams and some of the students and faculty that you'll see on campus and hopefully have in the classroom in the next school year. So just want to go over a couple of things about program requirements, how the availability of seats works. I know those are questions that come up a lot, and then answer some of the questions hopefully during my talk, and then at the end we'll have chances to answer your questions about how this whole process works, including the lottery. So let's get started. For any of our academic academies, there are requirements. And so most of our programs have similar, what we call prerequisites, but there is one difference. Our Equine Pre-Veterinary Academy, which you'll hear from in a few minutes, they have a little higher standard because of the rigor involved in those courses, including the first year. So in order to apply for the Equine Pre-Veterinary Academy, you must have a 3.0 GPA or higher, and you must be taking or have passed already Algebra 1 or Algebra 1 honors in 8th grade. If you look at the program flyer that's on our showcase site, if you look at the information on our school website and what we've put out on social media, you'll also see that we do have students who like to take Algebra 1 online. Maybe your 8th grade classroom doesn't offer it, or your middle school doesn't offer it, or you're taking it in a private environment. We just need those transcripts showing that you've completed 50% of the coursework by the end of January. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more later with the Equine. Our marketing, fine arts, and fire science programs all have the same minimum requirement to apply in order to be eligible, which is you have to have a 2.5 GPA. That's the only prerequisite for those programs. For all programs, if we want to verify grades, because that's what takes some time, and I'll start explaining that in a few minutes, we have to have your grades. So public school kids, if you're attending a Palm Beach County school and you upload grades to SIS, we will see your grades via report card after that second 9 weeks is completed. So you don't have anything to upload, okay, unless you're taking an online class. If you are a virtual school student or you're a private school student and you're viewing this presentation, please know that we don't have access to your grades unless you provide them to us in digital form. So there will be a place on the school lottery website where you can upload your transcripts and report cards from 7th and 8th grade so that we can verify that you meet those minimum standards that I talked about on this slide, okay? So next up, I want to just define what it is that the lottery does and who we accommodate. We accept applications for the 4 choice programs you'll hear about tonight from all students, whether you are zoned for Wellington or not zoned for Wellington. We have out-of-boundary seats available each year in every program. We do not know, and no school is notified until later this school year, how many seats we'll have for the 2021-2022 school year. So the expectations or the questions that you may have, I completely understand that you want to know. We simply don't have the number yet to tell you how many seats we'll have or how likely it is that you'll make it. That number will be assigned to us in late January after your applications will have been already submitted, okay? The total number of seats, however, is allocated by school, by academy. And in past years, just as a reference point, we bring in anywhere from 20 to 50 seats per academy for out-of-boundary students, meaning we can fill either a classroom or up to 2 classrooms of just out-of-boundary students in most of our programs, okay? Year by year, that changes, but just so you have an expectation of what our average number has been for the last several years, okay? Now, the lottery process will take place in March of 2021. We spend the month of February going through your applications that you turn in and making sure that you meet those minimum standards, those prerequisites. All qualified students are entered into that computer-based lottery. We don't accept any other supplemental materials or don't make any special, exceptions until we get to that actual lottery process. So if you meet the minimum standards, you are eligible to submit an application and be considered, okay? We sort by grade level, and then we also sort by first and second choice on your application. So we do fill seats starting with 9th grade, so it's easier to get in as a 9th grade applicant. However, we accept applications from all grade levels, and we accept first and second choices from all students. But keep in mind that also first choices are going to come before second choices. So just that, something to keep in mind. Now, the application process itself is open now. As of November, I believe it was November 4th this year, we open the application process, and you can go to mypbchoiceapp.com/apply, or you can go to palmbeachschools.org. There are usually links from the main page, but the fastest way to get to that lottery site is to go to mypbchoiceapp.com to apply. Now, the deadline to submit all of your materials is Friday, February 29th of 2021. And it's a very easy process. When you go to that website, all you do is log in as the parent and set up an account for the children in your family. And you can submit an application for up to 2 choices for any student in your household for any grade level up to January 29th. If you do not have access for some reason, or you would like to fill out a written form, we do accept paper applications through the school district. They're available on that site, and they would be mailed directly to the school district, just not to the campus. So the biggest question, and I want to spend a little time on this, is that if I were a new parent and wanting to know about this process, I would want to know, well, how random is this, right? Because anything related to schools, anything related to something that's in demand, we always want to wonder, am I getting the best shot at this, or is it like trying to find a PS5 for Christmas or the holidays, right? So we want to make sure that we're very transparent. The process itself of the lottery is done by computer. It is genuinely random. However, a small portion of every incoming class at every public school in Palm Beach County is accepted based on a few strands or preferences, we call them. And so if one of the folks in the lottery is a sibling of an existing student or a child of a WHS employee, one of the teachers here, or already has a brother or sister who is going to the school and will be continuing on next year, they do get a little bit of a boost to the front of the line. However, those seats, as well as any of these seats, have a limit. So we would never fill an entire group or an entire class of incoming kids just with those exceptions. We also give preference at certain schools for students who complete middle school, what we call strand programs. So if you've completed a program that is similar or matches what we do at Wellington. For instance, Osceola Creek Middle School has an equine pre-veterinary academy for their middle schoolers. The students who apply and complete that program would be eligible to have their names placed a little higher on the pecking order when the lottery is conducted. They'd be pulled a little sooner, okay? Then the third list that is the most mysterious because I think people don't know to ask, and we're very happy to share our process. Every school in Palm Beach County has a discretionary list called the Principal's Top 20%. Meaning, if I have 20 seats available for a specific program, I can go through the applications using criteria that we set and disclose and choose up to 20% of that group based on those criteria. And I'll talk about that more. I want to stay on this slide for a moment. So that means out of those 20 kids in a program, let's say, I can choose 4 out-of-boundary students, 1/5, for a specific year. We are very upfront and very transparent about how we use those slots. What we do, so that it's fair for everyone, is that we sort all of our applicants based on GPA, and we first pull all the students with a 4.0 GPA, or maybe very, very close. Then we sort by those same students. In order to cut that down to our final list, we sort them by the highest math course that they have taken up to this point in their academic career, and then their corresponding grade in that class if we need to make like a tiebreaker. So for instance, the average student on our principal's top 20% list last year had a 4.0 GPA and were taking or had completed geometry honors in 8th grade. Now keep in mind 2 things before we move forward. 1, that list is limited to 20% of our available seats. 2nd, not every student who is offered a seat through that process necessarily accepts the seat. And actually a third, I like threes, a third point is you will never know if you are selected for that principal's top 20% standing, because all it is a boost to the front of the line, like a fast pass at Disney World or Universal Studios. So the only thing that we can tell you is every student is considered for it. This is the average that we use, and this is the average criteria we've used in the past. But that does not mean that 20% of our seats every year are filled by kids who met those criteria, because they may choose to attend another school, or they may just stay at their home school entirely. So that's how that randomness works in the lottery process. Okay, so what are our expectations once you get here, once you start studying with us? You must maintain a 2.5 GPA or higher in your choice program courses, in those academy classes. So if, for instance, if you're taking 2 courses in the Equine Pre-Veterinary Academy, if you get a B and a C, that would average out to a 2.5 GPA. We don't want to tempt fate and have you at that level, so we expect you to be above that, because you should be enjoying the classes that you're taking the time and making the sacrifice to come to our school to take, if you happen to live out of boundary. So a 2.5 GPA or higher. Then a 2.0 overall GPA, meaning that for all of your classes, including your academy courses, is required. You must maintain conduct grades of 4 or 3. Even if you have a single 9 weeks where you get a 2 or lower, that will generate a probation. We'll talk more about that for all the students who make it through the lottery process in the spring, about how probation and exits work. And then we must have full participation in the co-curricular activities or the other outside events or volunteer efforts that are part of your academy. And each academy will talk tonight about some of the things beyond the classroom that they must complete in order to remain in good standing on your academy contract. Okay. Now, there's a lot of questions this time of year, and I know this year of all years, about transportation. Presuming that we are back into what we would all expect and are much more accustomed to in August of 2021, the full map of transportation options, whether it's a bus stop, bus numbers, routes, and all those things, those are usually available about a week to 10 days before the school year starts at palmbeachschools.org. Our bus stops shift from year to year. Sometimes you'll see one that moves down a block or across the street, but we've generally offered the same. School options for choice students are different because we do extend that map, and we do extend our choice transportation zone. That map is available on our website, on the Showcase website, and on our social media as well. You can also email me if you'd like a copy of that. Every effort is made to find a route that is accessible and convenient for a choice family. However, acceptance to the choice programs does not guarantee logistically that a bus stop will be created or moved to accommodate your home address. For instance, I live in Lake Worth over by Palm Beach State College. This is a little far east for one of our buses to go, but if I go about 3 blocks to the west or a block and a half north, I could get to one if I had a student that was going to our choice program. So again, we move mostly through the western communities, Lake Worth, Green Acres, and parts of West Palm Beach. But the extreme southern tip of the county or way out by the beach, it's a little more harder for us to get to you. So again, not a guarantee, but we do our very, very best. Okay, so then the last topic to really dive into just for a couple of minutes is what are the questions that you should be asking at home? And what conversations should you be having as a family, as both you, whether you've made your selection already and you just wanted to attend tonight to sort of validate and to experience what it's like to be in the programs that you're hoping to be part of, or whether you're visiting us and taking the time to explore and looking at all of your options. This would be advice I would give to any family applying to any program at any school after doing this for a few years. These are the topics. Have you had a family conversation about your students' academic goals and their aspirations? Meaning, what colleges do they want to look at? What academic track do they want to follow? What are their other interests in school that they want to pursue? And does that, place an importance, or does that factor into where you're applying? It should be, and it has to be, because each year, unfortunately, within the first 10 days of school, we have a number of students who we have to have very hard conversations with who are at Wellington High School or at any school because their parents wanted them to be in a certain program, but the kid didn't want to be there and doesn't know why they're there in the first place. And in fact, if you think about this year as an example, we've got kids who live, 8 or 10 miles away whose only experience of being on our campus has been, virtually through a screen like this, just like I work from home as well. So we have to have a real conversation about what are the goals, what are the interests, and is it a genuine interest in the program that you're applying to, or is it just an interest in the school? And if those goals meet and align, you're going to have a successful experience, because you're about to hear from some of the most talented, the most dedicated, the most extraordinary teachers and students that you'll find in Palm Beach County. I know that. But if it's not on a mutually beneficial understanding, we end up having hard conversations. And it takes a long time for the probation process, the exit process. We never like to get there if a kid doesn't want to be in the place that they're at. So that's just a conversation to have. Then 2, based on what you know already and what you hear tonight from the students and teachers that you'll hear from, is Wellington High School the right fit for your student? Do we offer the programs? Do we offer the extracurriculars? Do we offer the interest that they have? And are they excited about joining us, particularly if you're an out-of-boundary student who's going to be, maybe passing over a chance to go to your home school with kids that you've grown up with or kids you attended middle school with? Those are all important factors. And so I hope the answer is yes to that tonight. But if it's not, we also understand. Okay. And then 3rd, what are your expectations for our faculty, our staff, and our students? We have a very, very dedicated, I'm honored on a daily basis to get messages and help with the social media for the school. And we hear the success stories and we hear the amazing things that happen. We also have to know that we're public school teachers who have a lot going on, and what is the level of service that you're expecting? What is the level of attention to detail that you're looking for? We have a fully staffed wellness center. We have an amazing ESE team. We have brilliant support services for so many students in so many different circumstances. So again, I hope that those expectations are high and that we meet them for you. But we want to make sure to set that out before we get started tonight. Okay. All right. And then finally, before we get to the main event of the evening, which is all the programs, where do you find more information? So I'm holding, my phone is here, and I have all the social media accounts for the school, the Instagram, the Twitter, and the Facebook run through my phone. And so I will be very disappointed in the next couple of minutes as you start to hear from one of our academies if I don't hear my phone buzzing like I just got popular, if you're not following the Twitter, the Instagram, and the Facebook accounts at Wellington. It's really easy to find. It's just at Wellington HSFL. We update that with student success stories, relevant information. We try not to put too much on there so that it's spamming your feed, but we try to make sure it's relevant. The Instagram obviously is very, very picture heavy, but the Twitter usually has some images to go with it too. The Facebook account we try to update with more test dates and scheduling things, because we know that skews towards parents, but we certainly have lots of students who follow the Facebook page as well. We've got a substantial following for those accounts, and we hope that you check them out. We also have an official webpage at welh.palmbeachschools.org. Okay, thanks for checking that out. All right, so without further ado, to get us started tonight, and you're going to hear from a total of 4 our choice academies, our choice programs that accept out-of-boundary students. We want to get started with one of the teachers in the Equine and Pre-Veterinary Academy. She's also our activities director, an amazing contributor to the WHS community. That's Melissa Varvarigos.
Hi guys, welcome class of 25. Wow. Hopefully I will get to meet all of you in person soon. I just want to talk a little bit about our equine pre-veterinary program here at Wellington High School. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the coursework, what the students will be involved in should they choose to join us. And I'll also talk about each of the different sort of extras that are part of the program. I am the science department chair. I'm also one of the teachers in the Vet Academy. Our Vet Academy happens to be the oldest of the academies. It was the first one at Wellington High School approximately 14 years ago. I think I was trying to figure that out the other day. So we're going to start with ninth grade. I teach the ninth grade biology honors class, and it's a very traditional, typical biology class that has all of the same requirements that every other student on campus will see and learn about. So there's no need to really talk about all the details. You can see them there on the slide. There is an EOC course that is connected to the biology class. So the way that it works in the Vet Academy is that each of our students, they basically are dedicating themselves to 8 science courses in their time at Wellington High School. So they're going to take what I refer to as one general science course, and then they're going to take one more specialty course, which happens to be up there right now. So in their ninth grade year, like I said, I teach the biology class for the program, and then they have a specialty program, which is their honors experimental science program or class that's taught by Miss Breyer. And in her class, that is the class that's specific to the Vet Academy. That is considered to be their elective. So they essentially have, again, one general science course, and then they have one specialty vet course. And so in this specialty vet course, the way that I like to describe it is they learn about the healthy animal. They learn about all the ins and outs of the healthy animal and how organisms function. There's a lot of dissection that's in this course. You can see that in the picture there, but they dissect so many different things. They start right off the bat at the very beginning of the year of dissecting a cow eye, and then they go through a series of dissections as they run through the year. The other picture that you can see up there is part of our field trips. We do try to incorporate as many field trips as we can in different years. So one of the ones that they attend in their freshman year is a program where we go to the zoo. The zoo actually has their own veterinary facility on campus, and we go there and we tour the facility. There's a lab that we're able to explore, a lab that we're able to do, and it's a great program. So we try to incorporate real world experiences and animals. Even though we're not allowed to have them on campus, we try to incorporate them by going on field trips where they can experience them, and through their volunteer hours, which I'll talk a little bit about later, as we go through. So again, 2 classes per year, 9th grade bio, experimental science, then moving into their 10th grade year. You'll see that in a second on the screen. In their 10th grade year, their next 2 sciences that they take is they're going to take honors anatomy and physiology with our renowned, and I say renowned because everybody adores Mr. Cox. He is amazing. And in their anatomy and physiology class, one of the big things that they're known for is dissecting the cat, which they do for an extended period of time. It's when we do this tour live, that's probably the thing that either draws students in or it's the thing that pushes them away, because he normally takes them out at our open houses, and I can hear from my room, which is very far away from his, those students that are like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And then I also hear, oh my God, that's disgusting. I don't want anything to do with this program. So it's sort of the make it or break it usually at the open house. And then the other science course that they take when they're sophomores is chemistry. So that is their general science track. So the general science track for an honors student is always going to be biochem physics. And we use, even in college, they're still going to have those same requirements. And so we want to make sure that they have a strong science background all the way around. So it's not just in life sciences, that it is in all different forms of science coursework. Because when they go on to college and then vet school, because again, vet school is post your 4-year degree, they are going to require these same things. It's not just the life sciences, it's all this different coursework that they're going to be asking for. So we try to mimic that at the high school level. In 11th grade, what they're going to be looking at is they are going to be taking their choice of an ACE or AP class. So one of the questions that comes up oftentimes is, we have so many requirements in the Vet Academy. Are our students able to fulfill their requirements in ACE if they choose the ACE path? Because a lot of our students are very academically oriented, as they should be. And it does pair well beautifully. You are able to do your ACE coursework and also fulfill the requirements in the Vet Academy. And part of how we meld them is in the 11th grade year, they can choose whether they want to take an ACE science course, an AP science course. And oftentimes I have students that go above and beyond and are taking multiple of them, even sometimes even prior to their junior year. And then the other thing that they take in their 11th grade year is another vet course. That second vet course is kind of revolves around the unhealthy animal. So when you look at this second course that they take in 11th grade, it's all about different types of diseases. So we go through bacterial diseases, viral diseases, protofungal diseases, all the different disease-causing organism groups. In addition to that, we also talk about equine reproductive technology and medical technology, biosecurity, and anything that deals with the unhealthy animal in terms of just their overall organ systems. So that's another component of what they talk about in their junior year. And then when they move on to their senior year, they take physics. So that's their general science course. And then they take an internship class. So this year, we're not able to offer it because of COVID, but in a normal year, part of what they do is they are required to do volunteer hours with animals. So they do those on a semester basis. They're required to do 10 hours working with animals in some capacity. And then hopefully that grows a relationship with an individual veterinarian, and then that turns into their internship in their senior year. And so they do that internship their senior year. And so that kind of, gives you a little bit about what they do throughout their time here in all facets. It's an amazing program. I've been very fortunate to be a part of it. I'm so fortunate to have the students that I do, and the things that I've seen in talking to students over the length of time that I've been teaching biology, and I've also taught the junior level class in years past, is they will get out of it what they put in. And that's probably true of all the academies that we have at Wellington High School. They're sort of the bare minimum where you're just sort of, kind of trying to do your hours, do your coursework. But I have students that have been in the program and they're doing surgeries, by the time they're seniors. They're helping, I shouldn't say doing, they're helping with surgeries by the time they're seniors. But that has a lot to do with their interest level. It has a lot to do with their commitment to the veterinary academy, to their volunteer hours, to coveting that relationship with a veterinarian, and really wanting to. And so you can even see in this picture here with their contact hours, there's a student right there, that's helping prep a horse at Palm Beach Equine for surgery. So, what they put in is really what they get out of it. Next slide. And so in terms of, what do the students get out of it? Real world vet experience in terms of, again, volunteer hours and internship. We expose them to a variety of medicine articles. They do case studies when they're doing their internship. Oftentimes they read case studies even prior to that. And the biggest benefit of our program really is just the strong science background that the students get as a part of this program. Even if they do not go on in vet medicine, what I have found personally in keeping in touch with students after they graduate is that they're still doing science. They're still staying in medicine. They're, going into nursing. They're going into medicine in general, engineering, a variety of different things, which are all successes in my book, because it's amazing to see them just wanting to continue in science and having such a rigorous background. And then lastly, intending on pursuing various college degrees in animal sciences, and then of course, vet or even human medicine, which I spoke to a second ago. Next slide. And so here are some quotes from some of our students that we've had in the past, things that they've enjoyed. Rather than just reading them on a slide, though, I am going to introduce a couple of students that we have currently in the Vet Academy. Of course, this year is a little different, so we're not able to do all the things that we normally are. But I've had the pleasure of teaching Victoria, that you're going to hear from first. She is a senior here at Wellington High. Next, you'll hear from Brenda and Alexander, and they're going to talk a little bit about volunteer hours. They're going to talk a little bit about their experiences in the Vet Academy and the plethora of things that we offer both inside and outside the Academy. So without further ado, I'm going to have Victoria take it away.
Hello, my name is Victoria Logue. I'm a senior at Wellington High in the pre-veterinarian program. And I'm an out-of-bounds student, so I'm not zoned for Wellington. And one of the things that stood out to me the most about the vet program is you kind of throughout the years, you get sort of a community within the vet program. You know, you're surrounded with like-minded people, and those people understand you. They know what you're going through, and they're always there to be your support system. And the teachers, they're really amazing. I've had nothing but good experiences with the teachers. They're very sweet, all of them, and they're very good at their jobs. And also throughout the vet program, as Ms. Favrigo said, you have to do 10 volunteer hours per semester. And these 10 volunteer hours per semester can come through a variety of organizations. You know, you can do it at a local vet's office, or you can go to a local rescue, such as Big Dog Ranch, Justin Bartlett Animal Rescue, Peggy Adams, and even Miss Breyer, one of the vet teachers. She offers hours 2 days a week at her own barn where you could be with the horses. And so my personal experience is I volunteered at Justin Bartlett in my local area. I'm from Boynton Beach, so I volunteered at their Boynton Beach event center. And while doing this, I got to apply a lot of things from the Vet Academy that I learned, such as parasites within the animals, how to take care of that, how to tell their behavior around someone who they may not be so comfortable with. So they wouldn't be a good person to adopt them out. And also cleaning techniques that you learn in 11th grade. Those will be very useful throughout. And you also learn other skills, not even just animal-based within your volunteering. You learn about communication skills, and you learn about persuasive speaking. And you get to do all of this while just hanging out with the animals. And I think it's a really great opportunity. Plus, it looks really good on college applications, especially if you're going into STEM. So I'll swing it to Brenda if she wants to start.
Okay. Hi, I'm Brenda. I'm a junior in the vet program. To me, the program is just a program where I can learn so much about like medical and obviously like pet health and all of those things. We do many labs that are they like let you learn all the topics, but like in person. And it just like it opens your understanding of the topic so much more, and it's so interesting to learn about it. Like for me, one of my favorite labs or dissections that we did was, as Rodrigo said earlier, the cat. It really helped you learn so much about how the like anatomy works, like muscles, the digestive system, the heart, everything. Like it's just really interesting. We learned so much. There's a variety of things that we learn in the program. Like there's like the muscle anatomy. We can learn pet first aid, parasites. It covers so much information that I feel like would be so useful if you want to pursue a career in medicine or like a veterinary career. If the program really pursue you or something like that. You
All right,
can-
hi everybody. My name is Alexander Newman, and I am so able to talk to you guys today. As a junior in the program, I'm glad to say that there are classes that you can take on top of your veterinary coursework that can both help you college credit through ACE courses and just boost your GPA in general so you can get towards the top of your class if you want to. Some of these classes, just the science department alone, are things like ACE Marine, AP Psychology, AP Biology, ACE Environmental, even AP Environmental, and AP Chemistry. And these aren't just in the science alone. There is an ACE class for every English level, and there's ACE and AP for every history, and there's ACE and AP for math as well. In addition to rigorous coursework, there's also clubs that you can attend at the school to boost your high school experience even further. High school is supposed to be 4 of the best years of our life, and being in clubs to boost the extracurricular scene will make it even better. One major club of this is the vet club, which goes hand in hand with the vet program, and anyone in the school, regardless of what program you're in, I recommend you join it because it's amazing, and they do a lot of stuff, and they're very helpful, and they try to get involved in the school as well. Some other ones are all the honor societies that are in the school, like there's National Honor Society, there's Mu Alpha Theta, there's Science Honor Society, there's Chemistry Honor Society, there's English Honor Society. There's many honor societies you can join, which can just boost you even further and make you even better than you looked before. And then lastly, there's there's labs like the math lab, and we're working on a science lab, which can help you if you need help on anything, and also show you a way to help your classmates if you don't need help, but you can get back to people that would be helping you anyway. With the extra coursework, the higher level classes, and clubs that you can join, I hope these 4 years of high school are going to be amazing for you, and I look forward to seeing you guys here soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Alexander. So those are some of our students. That's a little bit about our program. I hope you have learned a little bit about the Vet Academy and that you're excited to apply, and that this will all be over soon so that I can actually meet you in person. And now I would like to reintroduce Mr. Wilkinson.
Thank you so much. And I think you can tell just from the testimonials you just heard, so much of feeling a fit on a campus is about feeling like you have kids that are like you and study like you and are interested in the same things. And those are 3 amazing examples. So to the students who just presented, as well as Ms. Barbarigos, thank you so much for the equine presentation tonight. Next up on the Fine Art is our Fine Arts Academy. That is the biggest in terms of the number of different things that you can study, has the most course options available to you, and has a chance to still be part of some of the largest organizations on our campus, even with kids who aren't in the academy. And so to present the Fine Arts Academy, I want to introduce our Director of Dance, the Department Chair of Fine Arts, and literally one of the best teachers I've ever run across in 11 years in education. She stands up for her kids and literally does miracles every day in her classroom, including now in this virtual setting. So please enjoy the company of Ms. Jennifer Simmers.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkinson. Good evening. The Fine Arts Academy at Wellington High School provides the student the opportunity to study their art form by taking a minimum of 8 fine performing arts classes, with 5 being in their declared major, over 4 years. Each year, the student must be enrolled in 2 fine or performing arts classes, unless stated otherwise by the fine arts instructor. Students may major in music, dance, theater, or the visual arts. For example, if a student's major is music, he or she may take all 8 courses within the music department, or may take at least 5 classes within the music department, and then take the other 3 classes in any other major. This program requires extensive after-school rehearsals, mandatory meetings, and performances. Now I'm going to talk briefly about the dance program. Dancers have the opportunity to take classes in dance technique, ballet, and dance repertory, which is my dance company. Dancers participate in a student dance concert, spring concert, and fall concert. We have a National Honor Society for Dance Arts, which recognizes dancers' artistic merit leadership, and academic achievement. Dancers also have the opportunity to participate in our Florida Dance Performance Assessment, in which our dancers received straight superiors last year. The dance program at Wellington High School prepares the student for college dance programs, creates a positive learning environment, and a place for students to grow and develop lifelong skills. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mary Ozer. I'm the Director of Bands at Wellington High School. Our program is one of the most active in Palm Beach County. We currently have 3 levels of concert band, 2 jazz bands, several small ensembles, and one of the largest marching bands in the county, which also, if you're a student in our band program, the marching band takes place of your PE requirement. There are many leadership activities in our band program as well. And even if you don't have experience on a band instrument, we do have a beginning band program for those of you that might want to get started. We are very active, but at the same time, you are able to do other things along with our program, which is one of our special recognitions we have at the school. It's very easy for you to do 2 band classes a year for 4 years because of our extensive jazz program and chamber ensembles. And I hope that we're going to see all of you at the best high school in Palm Beach County next year. Thank you.
Hello again, Bradford Chase isn't able to attend tonight, so I will be speaking about our chorus program. Chorus is a vibrant program offering opportunities that a few schools in the state of Florida do. Mr. Chase has 6 choruses who have performed around the country. Their top 2 choruses have received the highest honor offered in Florida, Choirs of Distinction. They are one of only 4 schools in the state to have 2 ensembles reach the status in 2019, our most recent year due to COVID. Each year they give a concert featuring a major work where Mr. Chase hires professional orchestra to play with them. He welcomes anyone who wants to sing and grow. Everyone has a place in chorus. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Federley. I am the theater director at Wellington High School. I'm very happy to be with you tonight. I'm actually teaching an acting class, but I came out to come talk to you. Wellington High School's theater program is one of the most diverse theater programs in our district. We offer 4 levels of stagecraft, 4 levels of musical theater, 4 levels of theater, and this year we started the ACE Drama program, which we are very excited about. Every year we do a musical, we do fall plays, we compete on district and state levels for competitions. And up until March of 2020, I was taking students to New York City for a tour of Broadway, which we do hope to continue again in the future. Wellington High School has made many theater professionals over the years from its theater students, including myself. I'm a class of 1991 graduate of Wellington High School. I've taught all over Palm Beach County, and there's no place better to be than Wellington High School. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, mark.federley@palmbeachschools.org. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, my name's Jerry Brown, and I'm the 2D art instructor. As Jennifer said earlier, if you're a visual art major, a first year scenario might be 2D Art 1 and Creative Photography 1. These are our foundation courses on which all the other courses the program builds. Your second, third, or fourth year, you could either focus on just photography or just 2D or both. The advanced courses for the 2D program are Art 3 Honors. We have 2 AP Art and Design courses, and we have 2 Portfolio Development courses. In the visual arts, we don't have rehearsals. However, we have art club, photography club, and National Art Honor Society, which you'll be required to be an active member in. We have 2 school exhibitions and a chalk art festival. We participate in many art competitions and exhibit opportunities throughout the year. Locally, we do the South Florida Fair, Mardi Gras, Women in the Visual Arts, the Norton Museum Student Art Gallery, Wellington Equestrian Festival, the Great Charity Challenge, Boca Bowl at FAU, MLK Junior District Competition, and the district's fall and spring exhibitions. Statewide and local, nationally, we do the Scholastic Art and Writing competition every year, the Florida Art Education Association Art Assessment and Virtual Exhibition, the Dolly Museum Student Exhibit, and the Endangered Species Youth Art Contest. The art students have won gold, silver, or honorable mention every year in Scholastic Writing and Art Competition. They have been chosen for the Norton Museum Student Art Gallery every year since its grand reopening. For the past 2 years, we've received perfect scores in the statewide assessment, and their artwork gets exhibited at the FAEA annual conference. At Mardi Gras, each year the students bring home first, second, or third place. One year we had a best of show overall. Last year, a senior won the scholarship award at the Women in the Visual Arts. We have colleges and art schools come and talk with the students, and some participate in the portfolio reviews in Miami each year. Some of the schools attended by our graduated art students are UF for architecture, FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology in New York for accessory design, Ringling School of Art and Design in Sarasota for animation, and many go for graphic design, media arts, cinematography in state schools like University of Central Florida and Florida State. Also, the smaller private schools like Flagler College in St. Augustine, and nearby in Georgia, the Savannah College of Art and Design. We have a great program and lots of successful student artists. So thank you.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm Denise Thompson. I teach creative photography. We have an exciting photography program at Wellington High School that starts with foundational concepts and becomes more complex with each year. Creative Photography 1 is our beginning photography class, and there are no prerequisites for this introductory class. This is a creative class that has many technological components. Students will learn how to use a digital camera. However, a digital camera is not required to take this course. Students can use their cell phone in this class instead. I teach photographic image creation, composition, storytelling, and critique. Each student is taught how to do digital editing using Photoshop, leading to an opportunity for certification. Students learn about the history of photography. They can create older forms of photography such as cyanotypes. Students learn about portraiture and studio lighting. They learn how to take photographs for storytelling and how to create a visual narrative. They learn practical applications for their image making and about contemporary artists. Students learn the technical skills needed to use a digital camera, including manual settings such as shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. After photography 1 and 2, students have an opportunity to take AP or ACE classes. So I look forward to seeing you in class. Thank you, Mr. Wilkinson.
Thank all of you for the amazing faculty that you just heard from. Before we get into our next program, just a question came up And we will do a Q&A session at the conclusion of the event, right in that YouTube chat. But I just wanted to make sure that we answered one question that was on the mind of a lot of folks who apply for programs, which is, well, can I take classes in different academies at Wellington? And here's the great part about fine arts. If you apply for and are accepted to, say as a first choice, into the Equine, the Fire, or the Marketing Academy, you may still take fine art classes from the teachers that you heard from tonight and Mr. Chase in the choral program. So those classes are not exclusive to Academy students. The other courses that you've heard about from the Equine program and the ones you're about to hear about in the Fire program and the Marketing program are restricted just due to size. We don't have, 6 teachers in the other programs. But our fine arts program, at a time when arts education is as important as ever, is available to all students, whether out of boundary, in-house, or part of any academy. Just want to clarify that. So, and we'll get into more questions and answer all the questions that you have a little bit later on. Our next group, beginning in 2010, with our first graduates in 2013, is our Fire Science Academy. It's led by an extraordinary leader, a committed professional who goes above and beyond for all of his cadets, demonstrates the right way to handle situations on a daily basis, and fights for his students in every circumstance. We're honored to have him as part of our team. I want to introduce him to you. His name is Mr. Lee Webster.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that introduction. Good evening, everybody. My name is Instructor Lee Webster. I am the lead instructor for the Wellington High School Fire Science Academy. I'm also currently a certified firefighter EMT, as well as a student myself in paramedic school. I've been at this program for the past 4 years, which we are also partnered with our wonderful partner, Palm Beach State College Fire Academy. And we're here to get our students to become firefighters. Next slide, please. All right, I'm just going to go over the courses by year for this course, for this class. 9th grade, you start with Health Science 1. You get an anatomy and physiology base because firefighting in South Florida, is a big part of it is the EMS side, the emergency medical service, which is EMTs, paramedics. 90% of your departments are dual certification firefighter EMTs, so we start with a good base of anatomy and physiology. The twist I put on it is we bring in very EMS-oriented anatomy and physiology, so I apply it to a lot of the everyday stuff we would see as an EMR, an EMT, or a paramedic. 10th grade begins your first firefighting class. Those classes are taught by our wonderful instructors at Palm Beach State College Fire Academy. They come out to the college or school from the college and have take care of our fire students during their class period. We go from any theory, any book work. They'll typically go over, let's say, ropes and knots. So we'll go over the chapter of ropes and knots, and then they will take it into practice and have to be responsible for anywhere between 8 and 16 knots, depending on the situation. This also goes into their word that you've probably heard quite a bit lately is PPE. Well, in the fire service, PPE means our bunker gear, which every single one of our students is supplied with their own bunker gear for the time that they are in the program. It's just like their second uniform. 11th grade, we go into firefighting 2. So what firefighting 2 means within this program is your times have to be tighter. You're lifting heavier ladders. You're pulling hose that has more water pressure behind it. And then you're also doing your Health Science 2 class, which is your emergency medical responder. This is typically what you would have heard first responder in years past. It's now called emergency medical responder. This is altogether about a 300-hour course, which ends in an industry certification exam, which once you're done, you are an emergency medical responder in the state of Florida. And finally, your 12th grade year, you have the choice of going to Firefighting 3 or ACE-PE. Firefighting 3 is off campus at Palm Beach State College. So you'll have some of those same instructors that you saw throughout your high school career or 11th grade, all the way up to 11th grade, and you'll see them at the college. And you'll also meet some new instructors. You're typically spend 4 hours there a night, depending on what day they have you scheduled, and that would be your class. This is where you get the you finalize your Firefighter 1 training. Eventually, you'll be eligible to fight 6 live training fires, which will end in your Firefighting 1 certification. And once you graduate, you will have the opportunity to finish in what the college calls a Firefighting 2. And then within 6 weeks, you'll have your firefighting certification. So typically, our students will graduate, and by mid-September, they'll be state of Florida certified firefighters. The other option, if you've got through the program and you just feel that firefighting is not your thing, or you've got what you wanted out of it, and you just feel that you took a different direction, which is just fine. We offer a class called ACE-PE. This is a very it's an ACE course, and it's very situated in anatomy and physiology based on how it works with physical education. That is taught by our wrestling coach currently, Coach Gray. It's a wonderful class. I have a few kids in there and they say they love it. Next slide, please. All right, some program expectations. I have quite a few of them, but these are just some of the tippy top ones. We adhere to a paramilitary standard. What that means, it's a attention on deck environment. So if an adult walks into the classroom, somebody will call attention on deck. All students will stand up at attention and wait to be released by that said adult that comes into the class. It's just a sign of respect. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, no, ma'am. I expect them to carry this throughout all their classrooms with all their teachers, and we find out if they don't. All Fire Academy cadets wear a Class A professional uniform on the first day of school each week. It's a Class A uniform, so it's typically what you would see at a firefighter wear at any event, a special event. It's a sign of pride. We don't make them wear it as a punishment. I personally like the uniforms, and it's just a sign of pride, and people look up to you when you're wearing that uniform. And firefighting related events, typically we could do car washes. We've had the special ops truck from Palm Beach County Fire Rescue come out. Unfortunately, COVID, there's some things that we can't do in regards to our different events, just because of having contact with more people than needed. So we are looking into alternate virtual events, and those will be available once we get them. Next slide, please. All right, some statistics for you. This is as of November 15th. We have from this program, we have 31 current state of Florida certified firefighters. That means they went through the Fire 2 training after they graduate. Out of those, we have 27 that are EMTs or emergency medical technicians. We have currently have 11 that are currently either completed their paramedic training, which is another 12 to 16 months. EMT is about 3 months. That have completed their training or currently in the course. We have 16 that are employed as career firefighters. As they're on shift, they went through the interview process. And we have 11 of those that are currently volunteering as firefighters. The ones that aren't on that list, anywhere from committing to college, which we 100% we 100% want them to do. If you get a full ride to a college, by all means, please go to college. You can come back and be a firefighter if needed. However, we do we do believe that they'll have their, their values that they learn from this program that they can carry with into their college career. Next slide, please. All right, my success story that was going to come tonight was Jonathan Espinal. He is a Fire Academy graduate and current firefighter EMT, and I'm currently in the same paramedic class as him. So we are learning together. Unfortunately, he was on shift and was committing time to this. However, he did get an emergency call while waiting to log in here, so he had no choice but to respond to that call, obviously, which is a success story in itself, as he is working as a firefighter EMT. So I do apologize for that. He did want to be here. He had a lot to say, but they call, we got to go. I thank you for your time today. If you have any questions, please email me at lee.webster@palmbeachschools.org, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Webster. Before we move on, I just want, when we are on that success story slide, if we can go back for just a second, the statistics you just saw are a testament to the outcomes and the purpose of the Fire Academy. We are very blessed that the district wants to recreate that experience in other areas of the county. Palm Beach Lakes is running a very successful program now. Their first graduates will be completing their program in the 21-22 school year. But I think it also tells you that when we show up in those uniforms, we're ready for business. There is only one other public high school in the state of Florida that has a fire science program similar to ours. Last year, they graduated 2 students who completed their fire certification. We graduated 20. It's all business there. They have a great time. They have amazing camaraderie. The cadets get along really, really well. But the purpose of that program really is to train for that first responder career. And so again, just reminding you of that family conversation I mentioned earlier. The interest in the field does not have to necessarily turn into a job. The same way that, if you're studying arts, you don't have to become a singer. If you study marketing, you don't have to become an advertising executive. But the drive and the passion really has to be there to get started, or else we have those tough first week conversations where it's, I don't want to wear a polo shirt. I don't see necessarily that person putting out 6 fires when they're seniors. So just something to throw on the discussion board for later. Okay. So our final presentation from our choice programs tonight, before we get to our question and answer session and talk about any of the things that you guys have already brought up in the YouTube chat and that we'll get into, is the Marketing Academy. And so near and dear to my heart, as similar to some others you've heard from before, including Mr. Federley, I am a WHS graduate from 1995. I was in the marketing program with our former teacher who retired a couple of years ago. And so I have a passion and a real interest. I was also a member of the Marketing Academy faculty for my first 6 years at Wellington. So very invested. And stepping away from a teaching position to take on a pseudo administrative role is very hard if you're not confident in the person that's going to take your place. And so we found the absolute best person to do so. She is the co-department chair of vocational. She runs our DECA chapter and works with Lauren Mandel to run the largest student organization on our campus, which is our DECA chapter. So please enjoy your time with the students of and with Elizabeth Newsom.
Hello and good evening. Hello to all of the prospective marketing students out there and their parents. So happy that you joined us tonight. I want to take a moment and introduce myself. As Mr. Wilkinson said, my name is Elizabeth Newsom. I am lucky enough to be one of the marketing teachers at Wellington High School. A little bit about myself. I've been with the program 6 years. I had very big shoes to fill when I came on board and took Mr. Wilkinson's place in teaching the Marketing Academy classes, but I came to it in a very interesting way. I have 2 daughters that were in the program, and it didn't take me very long after volunteering and chaperoning a few functions that I kind of was bitten by the DECA bug. And by DECA, I mean a co-curricular club chapter that runs simultaneously with our marketing program. I knew something really special was happening at Wellington High School. And I like to say the stars aligned and an opportunity presented itself. And since then, I've been part of the faculty at Wellington High School, and I couldn't be prouder to be a Wolverine, and I couldn't be prouder to work with the Wellington Marketing Academy students every day. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about the curriculum first, so you kind of have an idea of what to expect when and if you do join us over at Wellington High School. So you're going to have marketing classes every year throughout the program. You will have the opportunity to take many other classes as well at Wellington High School. So there's room for other electives and other courses of study. So don't think that just because you're backing yourself into an academy, you're not going to have the opportunity to experience other things, and more importantly, to be involved in other things at the high school level. You're in high school. You should be involved in as many things as you can be involved in. It's an extremely special time in your life, and you should jam pack it with as much experience as you can. So there is that opportunity to do so. But when you're in marketing, we're going to expect you to take some classes. Your freshman year, it's a marketing essentials class, which is going to lay out all the fundamentals for marketing. You'll get your basis knowledge through this class. So it's kind of a jam-packed first year, gets you everything you need to know to get up and running. At the same time, you'll be taking a digital infotech class, which is going to add that technology piece to things and make sure that you're career ready and, more important, high school ready with all of the technological skills you need to be successful throughout your high school, college, and career. Second year, you're going to take marketing applications. A little bit more of an opportunity to delve into a little bit of entrepreneurship, a little bit more of the running of businesses, and kind of understand a little bit about how marketing fits into the world around you. Your junior year will be your first opportunity to take an ACE class, and that's going to be ACE Travel and Tourism. It's an opportunity for us to talk about hospitality and the travel industry. And senior year is ACE Business Studies. That's a time where you're really going to delve into entrepreneurship a little more deeply and get a taste of the financial aspect of running a business as well. So the combination of all of these classes kind of fit together and help paint a picture of the business and marketing world as a whole, and really give you some skills to be able to A, know if this is something that you want to do in your career, or B, maybe it's just something that you were happy to experience in high school and you're going to leave with a lot of great skills that you've gained throughout your 4 years. I want to speak to one of the most important skills that I think that you will gain in the Marketing Academy. And in a minute, I'm going to have you have the opportunity to listen to some students that are currently enrolled in the Marketing Academy. But one of the best skills that we can help students with in this day and age is to help them be career and college ready. And in one way that we do that is not only through our academics and our curriculum, but also through our ability to help them develop a confidence in speaking in front of groups, developing their thoughts, and presenting them to a group. I like to talk about the fact that all of my seniors graduate and go to college. And we all know that first year of college, everybody takes a class called speech. And they all end up emailing or texting and saying, "You are not going to believe, Mrs. Newsom, I sailed through this class. Everybody around me was so worried about speaking in front of a lecture hall of 100, 200, 300 students. But for me, it was nothing. Well, I'm so used to it because of all the training that we had." So for sure, you're going to develop those skills in the marketing program. Baby steps at first. We're not going to ask you to do a half-an-hour presentation as a freshman, but little by little, you're going to gain those skills. And by the time you're a senior, you're really going to be able to have the confidence to communicate your ideas to a group in a private, in a one-on-one format, in a group setting, or in a presentation setting. So there's lots of exciting things to talk about with the program. And I could talk all night about it, but ultimately I know who you really want to hear from, and that's the students. So I'd like to take a moment to have Amanda Ng, she's a senior here at Wellington High School, talk a little bit about the program and kind of some of the expectations, and she's also then going to share with you her personal experiences with the marketing program. So take it away, Amanda.
Okay. Hi, everyone. As Ms. Newsom said, I'm Amanda Ng, and I'm a senior here in the marketing program at Wellington High School. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about the expectations of the program and what we do and what it is, basically. So the marketing program is a choice program, obviously, and everyone who is in the marketing academy here at Wellington High School is a part of a co-curricular organization called DECA. So DECA is an international association of marketing students that prepares leaders in the fields of marketing, hospitality, finance, and management. So all members here in the marketing family, we all become one big family, and we become really comfortable with each other and our peers and our teachers super quickly and seamlessly. The camaraderie in this program is just completely unmatched, and it's something that I was personally seeking when I was going into high school. And I know a lot of you are probably looking for it as well. As the biggest organization on campus, we have multiple community service opportunities as well that we create, plan, and execute within the board and then distribute to our members that are a part of the program. Along with our own endeavors, we also support other school-wide initiatives that the other organizations put on and encouraging our members to participate in them as well. Another big part of our program is DECA competition, which you will learn more about if you get into the program and you are at the school. But I guarantee this is a super fun, and it really brings the group together as one big family. So as you can see, DECA has been a big part of my high school story, and there are a few other members of the DECA leadership team here too. And we wanted to tell you a little bit more about our success stories within the program so far. So personally, I went to Crestwood Middle School, and I had absolutely no idea what DECA was, but I decided to apply for the program to try to find somewhere that I fit in and to find something that I was passionate about, because all my friends knew what they wanted to be when they grew up, and they had all these big aspirations, and I had absolutely no clue what I wanted to do. So the marketing program has definitely given me something to work towards career-wise and given me something to be passionate about. It's helped me just find a path for my future, because prior to joining this program and even in freshman year, I had no idea what I excelled in or what I was passionate about. But the program has really let me find that by taking these specialized classes and learning about the world of marketing more. It's just helped me with choosing my college major and setting a career path for myself, basically. After my freshman year in the program, I decided to apply to be on the student leadership board of the marketing program, and I made it, and I've been on the board ever since sophomore year. So this is my third year on the board, and I have personally been to district and state competition 3 times so far. Last year, I did qualify for international competition as I placed first in my category, but obviously we didn't go. So yeah, that was a little bit about me and my experience in the program thus far. So there are 3 other students that are also on the board here to talk to you, and so I'll pass it off to Alex now.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Kay, and I'm a junior in the Wellington Marketing Academy. Before attending Wellington, I went to Polo Park Middle School. Coming into Wellington, I didn't have many friends because most of them went to the schools they were zoned for, which I was not. However, the Marketing Academy has given me a chance to meet so many people that have the same interests, goals as me, opportunities as me, and it gives you a sense of family knowing that they're looking at the same things you're looking at and they're going for the same thing you're going for. The Academy gave me a home at Wellington when I was unsure of where I belonged. Through the Academy, I met my best friend, and some of the teachers in this Academy they're amazing. They really help, they're encouraging, they understand what you're going through. And like Ms. Newsom said, she has personal experience in this, and it's really great to know that the teacher that is teaching you all of this information knows what she's talking about. Originally, I didn't want to compete in DECA competition because I didn't think it was something that would interest me. I didn't think it was something that I would be happy to do. But after seeing all of my friends do it freshman year, I thought that's what I want to do next year. That is something that I want to get involved in. So coming sophomore year, I got involved, and I ended up placing 4th at districts and then 4th at states, and then I went on the track to nationals, but due to COVID, we couldn't go last year, which is a real big bummer. The success showed me just how much I love being a part of the Marketing Academy. So sophomore year, I also applied to be on the DECA board. This year was my first year on the DECA board, and it has helped me immensely in developing my leadership skills and becoming more involved in our academy as well as DECA itself. Now I'm going to hand it off to Kira to explain her success in the Marketing Academy.
Thanks, Alex. Hi, my name is Kira Bergman, and I'm a junior on the DECA board. Being a part of the Marketing Academy has really allowed me to tap into my creative side and create my own business plan and products. Within the past 2 years, when I was a freshman and a sophomore, I received help from both of my teachers as well as my fellow marketing students. They taught me how to use real-life issues and things I care about to create these new business plans and inventions. Creating these businesses and products, such as a dog collar that monitors a pet's heat level when locked in a car and prevents them from facing any danger, has allowed me not only to advocate for what I care about, but succeed in marketing competitions as well. During my time in the academy, I have been able to participate in many state competitions and celebrate those victories of my fellow peers with fun DECA events like a karaoke night. This last year, I placed 5th at a DECA state level competition and was a national qualifier. These exciting experiences and friendships that I have created would not be possible without the DECA program. With that said, I would like to pass it off to my friend Riley to share her success story.
Thanks, Kira.
Hello, my name is Riley Blakely, and I'm a sophomore at Wellington High School. When I was in 8th grade at Landings, and it came time for me to choose a high school to go to, I knew that whatever school I chose, I wanted to be a part of something. What that something was going to be, well, I wasn't quite sure of that yet. But when I first heard of Wellington's Marketing Academy, I was slightly interested and applied. After I stepped into the academy, I was extremely nervous as I wasn't sure if it was for me or not. Thanks to Miss Newsom and the older members, I got involved in DECA competition and had a lot of success my first year as I made it to the state competition. It was ultimately the competition and family atmosphere that made me realize that the Marketing Academy was the best choice for me. It was also this that made me want to apply for the DECA board, and this is my first year on the board. I've learned so much in the short time that I've been a part of the program, and there's not been a single past that I have not been grateful for everything that this academy has done for me so far. I encourage every single one of you watching to look into the marketing program and think about applying today. Thank you for listening to the Marketing Academy segment, and I will now turn it back over to Ms. Newsom.
Thanks, Riley. Wow. Well, as I'm sure you all know, because you're all parents and students, I'm sure you can identify, this has been a challenging year. It has been unlike any other, and each day brings its new challenges. After hearing those students speak, wow, it becomes very clear to me why I am a teacher in the Marketing Academy at Wellington High School. So I hope to see some of you at school next year, and I hope that you consider applying at the Marketing Academy because something very special is happening there. It's a culture exists that nobody can create on purpose. It's something that has to do with a legacy of the program that has existed and grown for years. I'm just happy to be along for the ride, continuing that trend and that legacy that was set forth before us. So consider joining us. We'd love to have you. And with further ado, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Wilkinson. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Mrs. Newsom, and amazing job by all of our student presenters tonight, all of our faculty members tonight who are joining us. And so tonight serves two purposes. It's a tribute to all the extraordinary work that has come from the kids who are in these programs, the effort and the dedication of the teachers who strive every day to help make them better students, better young people, give them career and college-ready skills for the future. And it's also an invitation. Tonight's an invitation for you. Tonight's an invitation for your family to say, this could be me. This could be my dinner conversation every night is about the extraordinary things that happen. And I'm very privileged in this very specific way. As a graduate of the school and as somebody who has taught here and grown within this campus, I get to be kind of the sales manager of our school. You know, I'm out trying to promote our campus, promote our social media, and more specifically, promote our choice programs. And if you have a parent or you're watching tonight and you're a salesperson, you'll remember this from any training that you ever went to, which is salespeople are best when they're selling something they believe in. So if you haven't spent the last hour and 20 minutes with us and you don't believe in the results and the effort and the outcomes and the dedication that it takes to produce the young people and the teachers who represented Wellington High School tonight, you know, I think you'd be surprised, right? They are incredible, incredible representatives of our campus culture, of our leadership, and of the expectations we have every day for our students. And so tonight is an invitation to you. And so the next invitation that I can make to you is there have to be some questions that we have not answered during the course of the presentation. So I would certainly invite you to ask. If you'll be patient with me, I am literally kind of like a kid in class. I'm staring at my phone a little bit to look at the YouTube chat because we have a different presentation software. So if you are taking classes, or if you're you know, curious about something, please type in those questions into YouTube. I'm going to answer as many as I can. We just, for the sake of making sure everyone could spend a little time with you tonight and get back to their families, we didn't keep everybody in the wait room to come back and answer questions. If you have a specific question that you want me to route to someone, on our next slide at the very conclusion, we're going to hold it for now, where my email address is on there. If we just go back for one, we'll get to those because I want people to email me questions because I'm not checking it at the moment. But at the very end, we will leave that up, and my contact information is virtually everywhere. It's on our website, our social media, the showcase page for the school, probably the calendar that you saw to find tonight's event from the school district. It's everywhere. So please reach out with a question. So so from Dan Rivera, shout out to Dan. I'm taking online classes at Emerald Cove. Do I need to upload my classes or my grades in order to be considered in the marketing program? So this has come up a couple times. I've been emailing this. So if you're taking a class that, or in the past, if you completed something in 7th grade and you're taking the FLVS class that is already showing up on SIS, then I most likely have access to that grade. So that would not be something you need to upload. But anything you're taking in this year, whether it's 8th grade or another year, but especially those 8th graders with the algebra, if you're taking that class online right now, we do need to see FLVS transcripts. Because FLVS runs on a slightly different calendar than the rest of us. And if you finish your 50% of your class, I need to show that documentation in order to like check a box and make sure that you're eligible. So all of your grades and all of the things you're doing that aren't related to the algebra class for equine, all of those grades are all rolled into it as well. So please attach anything that you feel would be helpful. But to link to that, we don't have space or a way to consider any other supplemental material. Like for instance, I use this example. People reach out and ask if they can submit a letter of recommendation from someone. Like for instance, for Fire Academy, like you've been in the fire cadets for Palm Beach County, and that's awesome. We just, for the sake of fairness and consistency, equity and access, we have to make sure that this process, this lottery process, is very fair and very consistent, so as not to give an unfair advantage to someone who, you know, was able to get someone to write a letter, or, you know, was an Eagle Scout or the head of their dance troupe, or, you know, you can imagine the hundreds of different things, because you guys are amazing kids who are watching this, and your families who are watching this have been driving you for results and success. And so so that's a great question, and I appreciate you asking. So attach it, and if it's extra and I don't need it, it never hurts to put it on there. So great question. Okay. So next one, do you have to apply to the Fire Science Academy even if you're in the boundary? Good question, Blitz. Awesome name, by the way. So for all of our in-house families who are watching, and we're going to spend some time talking about this with Wellington Landings and Polo Park specifically, with their principals, we'll put on their announcements. Even if you are zoned to attend Wellington, the programs that you saw tonight, if you want to be part of the academy and get those full experiences, especially if you want to take the fire classes, the equine classes, the marketing classes, and you're already going to attend our school, you still need to apply. We still have limited seating. We have more applicants every year than we have seats to fill. All of the programs you saw tonight had a wait list last year of dozens of students for each program. The lottery does not, the reason it's a lottery is because space is limited, and as the marketing kids will tell you, when demand is less than supply, scarcity exists. So just kind of like when you guys are running out and trying to get your new graphics card or your PS5 or the new basketball cards at Walmart, when they run out, they run out. So we only have certain spaces, and we can't make an exception later if you forgot to apply. So every student who's interested in every program should apply on the online system. So forgive me for looking down. I apologize. So can you change choice programs in that 4 years at Wellington? Good question. Very important question, and one that we put in writing as well for all of our folks who are applying. When you commit to a seat, remember earlier I talked about how we have a certain number of seats that we get allocated. When you join one program and you accept that invitation through the lottery, kind of as a winner, that seat is your reward, and particularly for our out-of-boundary students, but even for our in-house students. Once you begin a program and accept a seat, that program goes with you and travels with you during your time at Wellington. We do not and cannot allow students to switch from one choice program to another. We track success. We intend for those kids to finish those programs, and it comes up every year. People make the request every year, and I know our passions change, but our allocation doesn't. So to allocate a seat for someone in 9th grade and have them commit to it and say, I'm going to be with us for 4 years, and maybe this has happened at other schools and other circumstances, and at our school in the past, they applied to one program because they thought there'd be less applicants with the hope of switching into the more popular program, even though all of ours are popular, later on. And I understand minds change, and it can be genuine as well. So I'm not trying to be skeptical. But once you join a program, that is what you're locked in for your 4 years. An in-house student who doesn't want to commit to a second or a third or a fourth year would simply withdraw and go back to taking their normal classes. Someone who's out of boundary who doesn't want to continue would have to continue their studies at their home school. And again, that's about fit, right? So great question, great question. Can a student enter a choice program after 9th grade? From Liam, great question. We do accept applications both from in-house and from out-of-boundary students and families for every grade level. Most likely, the vast number of seats that we'll allocate for next year will be mostly 9th grade. We always make availability seats for 10th grade in each program. 11th and 12th grade is a little different, but here's how. If you're an 11th grade or a 12th grade applicant, one of the issues that we run into, and we take the application, is can you fulfill or can you complete the program? And so if you're a person interested in joining us for 11th or 12th grade, it might be good to touch base and let us know that you've been studying that topic or studying that particular area, because it's very difficult, say in an equine program, as you heard earlier, it would be very difficult to try to go backwards and complete all those classes in your final 2 years of school. Unless maybe you started off at Suncoast, maybe you started off at another science-based school, maybe you moved from out of state, and this is your first year in Palm Beach County, and that's your track record, and those are, in other words, your transcript would match up to what we're doing. Otherwise, we would find it almost a very frustrating experience for those trying to come in, because completion is the goal, and the district would tell you the same thing. So most of our seats go to 9th graders, a handful to 10th graders each year, and then upper level sort of as on demand and as circumstances warrant. Most likely they would be weight pool candidates, and we would evaluate that way. But you can certainly apply for any year. I just want to be transparent. Okay. Next. You mentioned strands that may get a preference. Would visual arts at Bach count for that? Unfortunately, our fine arts and visual arts as a strand preference is not the same the way that the district lays it out. We don't have auditions, so we're not. I think Bach is considered a strand for Dreyfus, but our fine arts program includes multiple tracks, but doesn't match exactly to what they're doing in the audition-based schools in middle school. Same for like the Don Estridge kids going into like a STEM or a science program. That wouldn't count as a strand. But those kids also might be high achievers that might be on the 20% list. Certainly would be in that category possibly. or would be certainly qualified to apply. But I just wanted to be transparent. The one strand that we use at Wellington that I know factors into the lottery is the pre-vet equine or equine pre-vet academy at Osceola Creek. We don't have any other strands. So is there any way of transferring to any Wellington programs by the coming semester? Good question. We don't have transfer opportunities for choice. We don't do mid-year entries for out-of-boundary students or reassignments for any of those. On occasion, if we have a student who moves into our zoned area and has taken a similar course load, marketing, it happens from time to time where they've been taking a business or a DECA-focused program at a different school, maybe a finance academy or a hospitality and tourism academy, and they're just trying to match courses. We'll sometimes look into that as a possibility to make sure that the student can continue. It's not automatic, but it does come up, but not for choice, not about a boundary. Okay, good question, Lou. Brittany asked, if a student goes to Renaissance Charter School, will they have access to their transcript? So on a case-by-case basis, it seems to change year by year, because I'm the person that looks through, like last year we got like 750 applications. So I look through all those, and if I see someone's a private school or charter school student, I do a double check to make sure. It doesn't appear that all charter schools use SIS. That seems to be the dividing line. If your school uses SIS and your parent or family member can use SIS to look up your grades, then odds are I can access those grades, and you can certainly email me when we get to the end and we get to that process in January or after you've completed your application. Feel free to reach out and I'll double check. It takes 5 seconds. I am never troubled. I am never bothered. I am happy to help each and every one of you with any question that you have during this process, because I know it's a big decision for kids entering their high school years. So in other words, if you use SIS, I probably see the grades, but again, it doesn't hurt to have those grade reports and transcripts just in case there's any discrepancy. Okay, great question, Brittany. And Kelly asks, can you enroll in the fire science program and still take the biology class? So this is a good question, and I'm sure our science department folks would be happy to have me answer it this way. There's a difference between the vet bio class and biology 1 honors that other students take. Not that we don't have amazing biology 1 teachers, because we do, and they do really well in the EOC, and they're really talented. But the vet class that Mrs. Varvarigos teaches, that is exclusive to the Vet Academy members, we really just simply don't have space in the room to add other students. Same for marketing, same for our fire classes. So the classes that you're taking with those core teachers that we talked about tonight for equine and fire science and marketing are not offered to students in other programs. However, again, just to reiterate, the Fine Arts Academy courses, because we have so many different teachers and so many different specialties, we can't fill a room with just Academy students for Mrs. Thompson's art class, or for Mr. Chase's chorus class. You could have 70 kids in chorus 1. It's going to be a mix. Now, our Academy students in fine arts tend to move up the chain and take those additional courses, just like Ms. Oser has in band and we have in theater. They tend to be some of the kids who fill up those upper level classes, but there's no boundary, there's no exclusivity to those courses that would prevent a student from taking that, even if they're in another academy. So fine arts is a great option for everyone who gets into Wellington, because not only are they extraordinary teachers, but you don't need like a special pass or a secret handshake to get in the door like you do with the others. So really good question. Really good question, Ms. Betancourt. For Emily, when I applied for Suncoast, it required me to put a choice program for Wellington. I just chose whichever one. Can I change the choice program if I end up going to Wellington? Okay, so great question. So if you're zoned for our school and you put in Suncoast or Dreyfus as your first choice, I understand these are extraordinary schools with very unique campus climates, and it fits a certain type of student really, really well. And so we have kids who are zoned for here that want to go there. We have kids who go there that want to transfer back and go here later. It's all about fit, right? You do have to apply though for a specific program, like we mentioned earlier. If you're gonna be coming back here just to be a zone student, you would have to apply for the program that makes the most sense for you. You can email, if you've already submitted your application, you can contact the district at choicequestions@palmbeachschools.org. That information is on your application site, that My PB Choice app site. It's on there. Email choicequestions@palmbeachschools.org. They will unfreeze your choices and give you the option of redoing that second choice, as you mentioned. That's a very popular question in general, so I'm glad you asked. You can change your preferences if you applied already, which hundreds already have. If you want to change your preferences based on what you've heard tonight, or word of mouth in your neighborhood, or kids talk and now they text and DM. But if you find a role model tonight and your child decides like, hey, I really got excited about fire science and I applied for marketing, or vice versa, or I didn't know I could take fine arts if I was in something else, maybe I want to take apply for something else. It's all a family conversation, but you can email choicequestions@palmbeachschools.org and they will unlock your choices and let you kind of start over, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Then I'm just going to take one or two more questions just because, just for time element. And then let's put up that last slide, Coach H. And that way we can direct people if they have additional questions. Okay. If you attended a private school in the past and currently attend a public school, will those grades automatically roll over? Okay, so this is the best example I can give you for Ms. Taylor. The grades that we take and the grades that we evaluate for eligibility for the lottery are only the second half of 7th grade and the first part of 8th grade. So like I think it's the 4th 9 weeks of 7th grade and the first semester of 8th grade. So if you attended a different school before that for 6th grade, don't worry about sending transcripts. But if you made a switch at the very end of last year and there's any question, it never hurts to send a transcript. But it should show up on your grade report. But we only really, the GPA that we determine is based on 3 9 weeks, the last 9 weeks of 7th grade and the first 2 9 weeks of 8th grade. And we'll automatically get those from district schools from there. So we'll be good to go. So I'm happy you asked that. So again, because that 6th grade isn't everybody's best year sometimes. We want that to feel, like a punishment. So, and Emily, to answer that question, the latest you can email, I would still leave it for probably mid-January because they get super, super busy before the deadline. So I wouldn't email before the deadline, like that day or that week, maybe by the 15th of January, just before you make your choice. So great question on what's the latest you can change your preferences. Okay. All right. So if anyone has any additional questions, I really appreciate it. I think I got to everyone that was in the live chat. I will come back and check this YouTube live chat when we archive the presentation. I'm happy to do so. However, the easiest way to email, easiest way to get a response, and I'm a great emailer, I promise. I'm thorough and I'm always polite and I'm happy to hear from you, is to email me at eric.wilkinson@palmbeachschools.org. If you need information to get to a teacher, if you need to get information about a specific program, I will connect you with that teacher, connect you with that program director so that you can answer the questions that you and your family have. So you can have that exciting family conversation and make the right choice for you. I really appreciate all of you who took the time. I know it's always a busy time right now. There's always things going on and practices and dinner times and binge watching and football on Wednesday. Who knew? And all kinds of things going on in the world. So it means a great deal to us and to our team and to Ms. Hayden and I that you took the time to visit with us tonight. So thank you. We will see you soon. And I wish you the very, very best as you enter the next school year. Thank you. Be safe.